Hello Scorpio, how are you? Welcome to your October 2016 Love and General readings. If you are on Instagram, would love to have you connect with you there at Jane International. Also, I should hopefully be setting up a Facebook at some point. If I get it done before these readings, then I will post the link in the description box below. So, okay. Let's go ahead and get started on your love reading for October 2016. One more. Scorpio. I will tell you what, that moon has come out so many times. It's come out a lot this month. Okay, very center of the reading, Three of Hearts, or Three of Swords, sensing sadness, okay? Sadness, heartbreak, frustration, maybe feeling like things they're just not panning out maybe the way you thought or maybe the way you hoped. I feel a sense of hope within you. Okay, with the Three of Wands and the Ten of Cups, there's a seeking that joy and that happiness and seeking that unit, right? That committed relationship, the joy within your relationship, the successful relationship, however you define success, single or in a relationship, doesn't matter. But I feel, and I'm wondering if, that hope and that expectation of quote-unquote perfection, not that you're looking exactly for perfection, everyone knows it doesn't exist, but that it could be triggering something. Whether in your dating life, if you're single, or in your relationship. Triggering something, and I don't like the Five of Wands in a reading because it does bring about, little petty quarrels and, pushing each other's buttons just for the sake of doing it and, saying things you don't mean. It's very childlike. And sometimes when our partners fall short of what we feel we deserve, not saying that you don't deserve it, but just if they aren't living up to the standards, if they aren't living up to par, it can tend to spiral. And I feel that might be what's happening with the devil here. The devil is such a dark energy. It's very black, and it sucks the energy of the reading, and it all kind of zeroes in here for me, right? Sometimes we do feel trapped. We know we want something. We feel we deserve what we want. And we're still seeking and we're still hoping. But sometimes that projection of that dream, that projection of that aspiration can be perceived by others, especially our significant others. And when they perceive that they are not living up to your standards, it can kind of tend to affect them obviously in a negative way, causing them to feel insufficient and feeling not good enough. And when your partner doesn't feel that way, they then in turn project that insecurity back onto you. And I'm kind of sensing a little bit of a cycle here, right? And I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, that there is this element of like feeling stuck, feeling like things aren't turning fast enough. The pettiness or the arguing, and this is to me like a dark pit in your stomach. And some of you, especially if you're married, a lot of times when you go through rough patches with your significant other, you might think about, and not saying that you would be very active in this, but sometimes you do wonder what it would be like to just have space or to just be on your own for a little while. But yet you can't, because you are married or you do live together, right? And so you then almost begin to resent the institution in which you voluntarily stay. And that feeling of resentment can be very toxic, right? I have another deck. It's called the Tarot of Delphi. And this tarot deck, the devil is actually called the Siren. And in mythology or the Iliad, the sailors would get lured in by the sirens. It's a temptation. It's a like they would suck them in, and would be almost, it's like so powerful that they just couldn't stop. They would do whatever they needed to do to get toward these sirens, and they were singing songs of home and familiar voices of people that they loved, and not to get all whatever, I don't know that much about it, but it's just that idea, right, of this unstoppable force that just keeps pulling us in, and we just cannot resist it, and we just cannot get out of it, right? Like you almost have no control over it, and that sense of lack of control then in turn makes you feel very, very weak. So there's a little bit of a vicious cycle happening, but yet you still remain hopeful and you still remain optimistic, which is great. But it's kind of like it's spinning, and it's going back from you to your partner or partners, people that you're dating. If you're totally not seeing anybody, then this can speak for an ex as well, something that you went through with an ex, and leaving you in a state or feeling weakness, strength reverse, feeling even just tired, right? And almost like where your whole life revolves around this disappointment, and your whole world revolves around the realization that maybe things aren't what you signed up for, or that they won't ever be what it is that you signed up for. I'm not saying that won't ever be like that, but maybe some of you are thinking that way. And I feel that you are fumbling in the darkness. There's clumsiness here. There is haphazardness and not thinking things through, not seeing things from end to end, and only focusing on the here and now, and focusing on the insufficiencies of your partner or partners. And I feel that some of you might actually throw your hands up and abdicate, and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And some of you are going to stop. Well, actually, hold on one second. I might need to clarify this card for. I'm going to pull out the more cards now. Oh, okay, that's why I wanted to pull it out. Hold on. Um, the reason I wanted to pull it out was because I immediately, as I started talking, I was like, well, no, you know what? There's something else. Now that I see these, I feel like hope you can stay with me. I feel like there's a part of you that wants to control your partner, right? And not control them and tell them what to do and all these things, but that you want them to behave in a certain way. Well, you know that you cannot make anyone behave in a certain way. And I think with the 10 of Wands here at the end, that when you get rid of your like you're trying to I'm not saying this properly. I'm just gonna say it as whatever. So like when you decide to just stop trying, I feel like things are gonna start working. Right? When you stop trying or hoping for something, when you stop viewing things as disappointments, when you start just accepting that maybe your partner is just who they are and that you have chosen to love them, that you have chosen this life with them, and that you should allow them to be the person that they are and not trying to, like I say, project anything onto them. When you decide to lose control and to drop the balls, okay, there's definitely an element of letting go here and just dropping everything and seeing how it lands, right? Taking the deck of cards, throwing it, and seeing how they land. That once you do that, and this was a very interesting way to end this spread, the Empress and the Emperor. I mean, this is the king and queen of king and queens, right? This is the major arcana couple where they are essentially a quote-unquote perfect match. And they are very defined in their roles. And they support one another and they understand one another and they maintain a very significant sense of individuality. And they are, it's like that idea of separate togetherness, right? Where emotionally they don't need anybody, they just want that person there. So sometimes I feel like this is you letting go of a need almost, and not in a negative way, not something that maybe you really need, but something that you just think that you need, right? Maybe it's an air of romance, or it's something that you see in the movies and you think that, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. Well, I feel like by giving your partner and yourself freedom to be an individual, to be individuals, only then, I think, will you then kind of get back on track, right? And if you're just dating, and you want to continue dating, and it's like you stop feeling disappointed, because how can someone, if you let go of your expectations, if you let go of your standards, how can someone then fail you? And then all of a sudden they become successful in your eyes and things change. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm being clear. I felt like my Virgo reading was really confusing too. So hopefully this speaks to some of you out there. So I guess essentially, like, abdicate control and things will start to pan out the way that they're supposed to. That your significant other, the people that you're dating, or someone that you're dating may shine through and may exceed your expectations in the long run. I mean, like I say, Emperor, Empress, that's the king and queen of king and queens. The majors are major arcana. So there's definitely a goodness there, and in terms of compatibility, it cannot be beat. Sometimes we just get in our own way. Okay. Last one. Okay. I'm gonna jump because whenever I get this card, it kind of sets the tone for the reading for me when I get the Three of Cups in a reversal, because it's like the party's over. Things need to start being taken seriously, right? It's like you need to start cleaning up the mess a little bit. I feel like there's a definite new direction, okay? Or at least a sense that you need to start taking a new direction. Seven of Pentacles. You know, you've been working hard, you've accomplished so many things, and yet when you look at this pile or this collection of everything that you've done, everything that you've accomplished, you still feel like, well, that's not enough. Like, I worked so hard, and yet I still have not produced what I thought I would. And that usually instigates a pretty significant turn, right? Like I said, the party is over. I feel like this night is kind of like you kind of moving away. You're not gonna play those games anymore. To me, this is like a game playing energy, you know, someone that just kind of flounces around from place to place, people to person to person, and does a whole bunch of aimless things, you know. It's an incomplete soul, right? And I feel like maybe you've kind of taken on this energy over the past couple months, and now you're like, all right, I gotta really tap into this well put together, well-rounded King of Swords, right? I know I have this within me. I know I'm capable of accomplishing this stuff. And I know that my life has not been an area in my life anyway, has not been as successful as I would like. I want certain things, and I know what I need to do to get them. And so now is the time to get them. Right? You're not just going to sit around and do anything anymore. You know, Four of Cups. Things are starting to stir. Opportunities are rising. The Ace of Pentacles. Oftentimes I see the Ace of Pentacles as reward, right? Sometimes when you have worked so hard and when you feel this way, feeling dissatisfied with what has been produced out of your labor, you tend to get surprises, you know, whether it's a job offer or whether it's someone giving you an attaboy even, you know, or a recommendation or a promotion or a raise. And sometimes it's unexpected. A lot of times the aces come kind of out of nowhere and come unexpectedly. And I think a lot of that reward is based on, you know, it's kind of like, I feel like it's almost got a sense of immediacy, that almost as soon as you change your mindset, as soon as you change your direction, right, from this to this, and as soon as you tap into this King of Swords like energy, which is again intelligent, smart, educated, well-rounded, grounded, and maybe a little bit more stern, and it's a very serious, right? Very like not a fun energy, not a warm and fuzzy energy, but very serious, that will be recognized and that you will receive recognition for what it is that you're doing, whatever, you know. I feel like this is very career oriented, or I feel like it is very, you know, because of the Ace of Pentacles. With the Eight of Wands, it is very much a swift change, a swift incoming, and it's welcome. It's something that you want. It's something good. It's something that will bring happiness to you. Even if it's something small, sometimes all we need is just to be recognized and just to feel acknowledged, you know. But some of you actually may have financial repercussions or an increase in income or new job opportunities. This is the tangibility part of our lives. Material things, money in our bank account, cars in the garage, homes, you know, clothes, whatever it is. But it is that tangibility of life. Two of Pentacles, again, it's kind of an interesting theme. I don't think I've ever had a reading like this before where I kind of felt like you had to abdicate control. And not to say that you completely just give up. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying in the last reading or in this one. But sometimes we have a false sense of control, a false sense of security. And when we realize really how much control we have, right? Because you had control before when you were working hard and you were doing your thing. And even though you may have taken a very light, you know, very like not so serious, right? A very not so serious approach to it. You still worked hard. But the amount of control that you had here maybe didn't really bring about as much as you thought it would. And therefore, even though you're getting more serious, or you're going to start taking things more seriously, or you're going to really use your talents and skills and education to the fullest of its ability, I do feel like there still is that, okay, I just really need to just open my mind and stop like keeping everything bound, right? With, you know, these are bound together. But sometimes when you release the binds or you release the limits, it's sometimes opportunities come in that you just would never expect otherwise. So this is, to me, telling me of expansion. It's telling me of unexpected opportunities coming in, things that maybe from a different industry or different companies. Some of you may be being contacted by headhunters. Some of you may be contacted by competitive firms and agencies. And some of you might even just start getting paid for things that you used to do for free, you know, or something like that. And I feel like the Hermit's kind of been popping up a lot too, giving it more of that. I think September was more of a down-to-earth, day-to-day type of month, but now October we're getting more into the clouds, more into the universe and the big picture type stuff. And you know, you may go through a period of introspection and really trying to figure out how this stuff applies and how this stuff will align with your greater purpose and what is your greater purpose in life. You know, once you change direction, you're in a new path. Once you're in a new path, you need to kind of figure out where that path is leading, where that path is going. And especially if you're removing limits, right? Tearing down walls and fences and trying to keep it as open as you can so that you don't miss out on an opportunity. And you will take opportunities seriously, right? When things come in, you're going to be like, okay, like let me seriously examine this and see if it's really in line with what it is I want to do in my life. I feel like you will find something, or something will come your way that is in line with your life, that does connect with that bigger purpose. You're going to be very smart about it, and you are going to be taking more action, right? Like you're not just going to sit on the sidelines and let things pass you by. No, this is in reverse. You're going to start really looking at what's coming into your life and really start seeing what you can get out of it and how it can really take you to the next place that you want to be. Three of Wands again, you know, Three of Cups, Three of Wands, pulled out the Empress before, which was also the three. You know, you are certainly headed in a new direction and awaiting, you know, this is a card of communication and receiving messages, but it's also a card of entering into new unexplored terrain and standing at the edge of everything that's familiar, right? And continuing on and feeling open, right? But there's a seriousness to this. It's not like fun, free fall, the fool. It's not like, I feel like the fun side of you is kind of taking a breather and the more serious side of you is really coming to play and starting to really figure things out. There is this, you know, an intuitive guide here, the twos as well. The intuition is speaking to you. You have direct access to the truth and the truth of what it is your heart desires, truth of what it is that will make you happy. And I think you're going to really take hold of these things and you're going to use them to the best of their abilities, giving us the Sun, which is the most positive outcome that you could possibly ask for. It is success and joy and happiness in this new direction that you're headed. So I'm going to leave it with that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next month. Bye.